Okay, so any of you guys that know Dr. Chad Johnson of Veranda Dentistry, I think it's in. Oh man, this is bad. I don't know if it's in Iowa or Idaho. That's bad that I get those confused. He truly is one of a kind, and for me on my podcast, it's actually challenging to interview someone that I know fairly well because there's something about that curiosity of having like that beginner's brain. This is even in learning, right? When you have beginner's brain and you don't feel like you have it all figured out, you where you can go with that curiosity, it can take you to some pretty amazing places that otherwise you wouldn't be able to get to. Um, and with Chad, like the actually day that I met him at a Productive Dentist Academy event, Dr. Bruce Baird and Victoria Peterson, I saw him later the first day, and he was checking into his hotel room at like the front desk, and I'm sitting there, I don't know, I'm journaling, doing something, reading a book, and instead of him getting in his elevator, I just shouted, "Hey, Dr. Johnson," and I said something. Anyway, we sparked up a conversation, and like 3 hours went by, and it's like getting close to midnight, and this is like later than either I or he normally would stay up, and we just couldn't stop talking because he is such a fascinating individual, and I hope I was able to capture that in the interview. One of the things I absolutely love that Chad shared, and yes, he is Dr. Johnson, but since he's my friend, we're just gonna go with Chad, is that in the interview, we all experienced COVID, right? It was crazy, it was difficult, and it was incredibly difficult for dentistry. But here he is, and in the midst of, it's almost like it was like the first time it was like this left hook in dentistry where it's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. Like he describes having a panic attack literally for the first time. And in the midst of the context of that type of, I don't know what you call it, environment, time in his life, he literally boldly decided to go fee for service and was just fine. Like, if we perish, we perish. Like it was this crazy move. And I just remember hearing as he's recounting these stories of what he was going through, and I'm like, dang, like that is Dr. Chad Johnson. Another crazy thing is just that he's talking about how in school he didn't actually feel like he was that, I don't know, intelligent by like the comparison to other really smart people in his school. And it's just crazy because so many of the people I'm interviewing, the way that they see themselves is still a little disconnected from, I feel like, their actual persona, like the way that they present themselves. Because 100%, if you've ever had a chance to talk to Chad, he just sees everything differently in a way that is incredibly intellectual, incredibly poignant, fascinating, interesting. Like, I could talk to him. He's the kind of guy you'd want to go on a road trip with, where you're just stuck being next to him for hours because you could pick his brain about anything. I love the way, if you even check out his Facebook profile for his practice, you will see someone that just loves his team, loves his patients, his team loves him. Yeah, if you don't know Chad, you need to know Chad. And if you haven't heard his story and what he's done, click on his speaker page in the description below. You will not be disappointed. There was just so many amazing moments in that interview. But more importantly, check out the links to actually what it is he's doing in dentistry. Again, the reason why I share these things and the reason why I get so excited about them is because I absolutely believe that dentistry in every single field is better when people occupy the space that only they can occupy. And maybe that's really obvious, but what do I mean by that, to unpack that, is like that I feel like is the definition of an abundance mindset. It's not just about resources, it's actually spheres of influence. I 100% believe it's like we're all in an army, but if you think of it more of like an inner circle, if there's 12 or if there's 20 of you that you need to go into battle with, and there's a potential for 20, but only 8 people show up, how are you going to do? Like, you're going to be like, where the heck are those other 12 people that together, with their contribution, with their synergy, allow the collective output to get elevated? And that's 100% what I feel like leads to innovation in any industry. It's not when people play solo. It's not when people say, hey, I'm just going to hang out on an island, do my own thing, and somehow be some like one-man Rambo show. That's not it. That's not it at all. It's when people have the humility to connect. And you want a connector? I'm going to highlight some connectors. But Chad, thank you so much just for being a friend. Thank you for letting me interview you and share a little bit about your story. And I know there's going to be a round 2 or round 3 because we barely scratched the surface of what it is, the light that you shine and the gift that you are to the world of dentistry. I feel like there's still so much more that I didn't get to share. So anyway, Chad, thank you so much for everybody checking this out. Check out the episode. You will not be disappointed.